So you went to the Korean supermarket to buy some noodles. Why are there so many? Oppa cooks here, yeah. Hi guys, welcome back. I realized the last time I was at the Korean grocery store that it seems there are so many noodle types to choose from. I thought I'd buy this range from the brand Asi, which you should know is a distributor, wholesaler, reseller of Asian products into the North Asian market. They don't actually manufacture anything. Right off the bat, let me clarify. There are basically just two noodle types you need to know for Korean cooking. So if you're looking at a Korean noodle recipe, you'll be buying either one of these white noodles made from wheat flour. Here they're confusingly labeled as somen and udon, which Asi, being mostly focused on marketing, wants to appeal to people looking to cook Korean and Japanese dishes. Korean brands will call the thin ones Somyeon or sometimes just Guksu. The thicker ones may go by kalguksu or udon or jjajang noodles. And the basic difference between these two noodles are thickness. One is thin and one is a bit thicker. Like, what a letdown, right? I would loosely compare them to the more familiar pasta noodles, and for simplicity's sake, think of it like angel hair pasta versus linguine. But unlike pasta noodles, these wheat noodles are much softer in comparison in terms of texture and bite. Basically, all the white noodles are made of the same thing, water and flour, no eggs, except for the buckwheat noodles containing buckwheat flour in addition to regular flour, which they use as a filler. Glass noodles I included because they are used in Korean recipes, but almost exclusively for japchae, which are a pain in the butt to make, so I won't really include them here too extensively, maybe another video, another time. They are most usually made of potato starch or some kind of starch. Let's start off by cooking some noodles, so I can show you how to do that and later on how to eat them. I'm going to use what I have started to call the 3 times boil method. Let's all say it until it becomes a thing. What you do is after adding noodles, bring the water to a boil. Then add a cup of cold water, bring it back up to a boil a second time, then give it a cold shower again, then bring it to a boil a third time. And then the noodles should be done. Kind of like second-rate magic. So use a bigger pot than you think you need because you'll be adding lots of water. Another thing is to give it a stir pretty regularly so the noodles don't stick to the bottom. It's not really a set it and forget it type of deal here. That was the first boil there. When the water gets all furious and threatens to overflow is when you want to shock the thing with cold water. So here's a second cup of cold water going in. Obviously I should have used a bigger pot, but I like living dangerously. The third time it's boiling, you can take it off the heat. Now here's a particularity with these noodles you need to remember, which is as soon as you take them off the heat, you have to shock it all in cold water. And you need to cool down all of the noodles right away. This washes away extra starch, which don't taste good, and will keep from making the noodles gummy. Once they're drained, you want to make them into little nests, so it's easier to serve them later on. Beautiful. Moving on. You can see from these pre-portioned wraps of noodles that a suggested serving is around the size of a large coin in diameter. In Canada, it'd be like a loonie. In the States, like, I don't know, a dollar coin that's not really used. In the UK, bigger than your pound coin. Honestly, you gotta watch it with the portions. It's really easy to overeat these noodles. A warning to the carb conscious. If you aren't feeling the 3 times boil method, you can just stand by the stove and stir the thing and taste test it over and over again. I would guess it takes like 8 minutes or so. But shocking the water with the additional cold water, they say it yields a better noodle with better chew. Remember to rinse the noodles in cold water right away. This is so ingrained in me that when I first started cooking and made pasta for the first time, I rinsed the pasta and we all enjoyed very cold pasta, which I guess would have been fine if I'd been making pasta salad, but I was trying to make spaghetti, so yeah, no, it wasn't great. I'm going to show you how to cook these glass noodles or Naengmyun in Korean. I hardly ever cook these, so I was like all ready with my extra cold water, but turns out I didn't need it. Back in the day, my mom would have to soak this thing for hours. I don't know how they're making them now, but you can cook them right away. I did notice it needed significantly more cooking minutes, but I just taste tested it until I felt it was done. I'd say 15 minutes. But same as the other ones, you'll want to rinse Naengmyun in cold water as well when it's done. This one's a bit of a bonus, but I found these totori noodles, which are just wheat flour noodles, but they add some acorn powder. I'd love to try like 100% acorn powder noodles, but I think it's very small local companies that do them. I doubt I'll ever find it where I live. Anyway, acorns are nuts. Nuts have lots of nutrition, so I just like to use them in place of regular noodles sometimes.
% left.
Oh my god, you don't taste the noodle?
Okay. Taste it and tell me what dishes it's used for. This is the most widely and most commonly used Korean noodle, yes or no?
Yes.
Janchi Guksu?
Janchi Guksu.
Bibim Guksu?
So,
Anything else?
면만 이렇게 먹으니까 see, when you just eat only the noodles, they taste exactly the same. The only difference is when you put in the soup, the combination of soup and the noodle is like how much, like this is so thin. I guess it will soak in all the flavor from the soup. This is thicker.
Okay, eat this one.
They taste same.
Right.
Okay.
But this is like Korean udon, 짜장면, 칼국수 dishes. Okay. Would you do bibimbap with this?
No, bibimbap usually. Yeah, you could do bibimbap. There's no like this is the right noodle for bibimbap. There's so much.
The verdict was there isn't much difference in the noodles. Just know, if you want to make Korean noodle recipes, it's the white ones. Just pick a thickness. I like the thin ones and they're called Somyeon. But if you find you prefer thicker ones, get those instead. Glass noodles are for japchae and totori acorn noodles are just if you're feeling like some variety. Now the first way to eat noodles are in soup, and the #1 broth in Korea is made from anchovies. You'll find dried anchovy of all sizes at the Korean grocery store. The larger ones are the ones you want for soup, and the real itty-bitty ones are to make banchan or stir-fried side dishes. I have been told to get this black stuff out of the belly of the fish because it will make the soup bitter, and you shouldn't eat the guts of fish, blah blah blah. I'm doing this annoying thing to show you, but to be honest, I've just thrown them in before and it's been fine. Use more than you think though, otherwise the soup will be kind of tasteless. This is just for 1 bowl of soup and I'm using like 5. I think that's too much, I'm not really sure. Throw all this black stuff out. I got these nifty soup making pouches. They're like DIY tea bags but larger. I'll put a link for them in the description below. If all you have is dried anchovy, totally fine. Just toss them in, add some salt and you're good to go. But we keep dashima in stock at ours, which is really thick pieces of kelp. I used to buy large pieces, but then you'd have to break it off, and I found these recently, which are cut down to size and just, oh, so convenient. And they also sell these pre-made pouches that you can easily throw into boiling water to make a nice soup. This one had crab in it, which was interesting. Oppa found the crab flavor too overwhelming, so we don't really use it right now. But to keep it to the basics, all you really need is dried anchovy. You want to boil that for a while, I don't know, at least 20 minutes. Add some salt to taste, which is always more than I would think. I love pepper, so I always add peppercorns. You could add garlic, which I would if I wasn't so lazy. Oh, let me explain a bit about soy sauce here. So there is a soy sauce that is specifically for soup. It's called Ganjang, which translates to soup soy sauce, and there's a picture of soup on the bottle. These are saltier and usually less sweet, so if you make a lot of soup, I guess it would be worth it to buy this separate soy sauce just for soup. I like it because it has fewer ingredients, which I hope means less processing, but it's definitely not tasty right out of the bottle, say for using as a dipping sauce or anything like that. If you don't have these pouches, you can just strain the soup or scoop out the pieces with a strainer. But that is basically it. You have made a very basic janchi guksu or Korean party noodles. popular at weddings and other party events like that. These are usually served with a seasoning sauce. Soy sauce and toasted sesame oil are the main components. To that, you can add some honey, gochujang, Korean chili powder, pressed garlic, and toasted sesame seeds. I would just add a bit of honey for my kids, but for grown-ups, a bit of heat tastes better. Drizzle that on top, and there you've got option number 1. Option number 2 is basically Bibim Guksu, which is like the noodle version of bibimbap. But we're also doing the basic what's in the fridge version. So all you really need is gochujang and toasted sesame oil for the sauce. You can add honey if you want or need it. Add gochujang for extra heat and a touch of soy sauce. Here's when you'd use Ganjang, which is the key word signifying all-purpose or commercially made Korean soy sauce products. Just a bit, and then you can add a touch of water to get the right consistency. You want to mix it thoroughly into the noodles, and then raid the fridge for whatever veggies to top that. We had this baby greens mix, a hot pepper, and a cucumber. Option 3 is a childhood favorite of mine. It's basically noodles dressed in a soy sauce-based sauce. Equal parts all-purpose soy sauce, which is Ganjang, to honey, to toasted sesame oil. The equal amount honey is really for children. I can do with a lot less now, so taste test it to your preference. Mix that in thoroughly into the noodles. And I would just eat these now. I think that's enough. But can't forget Korea's favorite garnish for nearly everything, toasted sesame seeds. This is like the parsley of Korea, just sprinkle that shit on top. But then I felt bad for doing such a half-assed job, so I'm going to blanch some more veggies and make it more colorful. Eat the rainbow and all that. I always have carrots. And I had some broccoli that was looking a little sad. I sliced some avocado and cut some more of that hot pepper. Another very common topping is egg. For soup noodles like Janchi Guksu, you can make the rolled eggs, like fry them on a fry pan and then roll it up and slice it to add as a topping. For saucy type noodles, a fried egg sunny side up is good. But I just wasn't feeling it, guys. I just did not feel like it. I'm sorry. Bibim Guksu is all about gochujang, so it should have a little heat. And the veggies, this is a good way to eat salad veggies, but in a more delicious way. These soy saucy noodles are for the soy sauce fans. If you enjoy this, it means you like the flavor of soy sauce. Janchi Guksu is also a childhood fave and a comfort food for me. Like I said, it's super easy to overeat these, so watch out.
Guys, are the noodles good?
Korean noodles are really good added to a simple chicken broth too. Sometimes I'll make chicken soup with just chicken, water, garlic, salt, and add some peas for color.
Oppa cooks here. Yeah.
Thanks for watching. See you next time.